Okay.
Aloha, I'm Desin Hakias with Healing with Aloha Podcast. Thank you for joining us. This podcast is to bring hope and healing with Aloha. We have special guests who come and share their stories that are uplifting and encouraging. And we are blessed to have Natalie Jordon with us from California. She has a passion for educating and just sharing about infertility. Natalie, can you share why infertility is important to you?
Yes, first of all, I would like to say aloha to everyone, and thank you for having me
You're welcome.
today. Yes, why it's important to me, infertility is because it personally affected me, and I know from it affects a lot of other people. So I feel, God-given calling to help others that are going through what I went through.
And I think that's awesome. Like, I think there's certain topics that as a society we need to address and make it more normalized for us to talk about it instead of us just kind of like tiptoeing around certain topics, but just acknowledging it. And because it's real, it's a real life issue, and it's something that can connect us by talking about it. uh, can you share briefly, uh, at what point did you start dealing with like infertility in your life? Was it recently, or was it a few years ago?
Yes, it was not too long ago. It was back in 2014, actually. That's when I actually had a miscarriage in 2014. That same year, my father-in-law had passed away, and I was just, I had my daughter. She was already 5,
Mm.
and so I thought this would bring a lot of joy, into the family because they had lost, my husband lost his dad, and it was a very sad time. And so, yeah, that's when everything began. I actually lost the baby, and then my journey began trying to conceive. I tried doing some natural things at first
Mhm.
while of belief. And so I tried, well, first let me start off the right way. I went to the gynecologist first. And that's where I think that's where a lot of people start. They start with Western medicine and they go to doctors. And so I went to the gynecologist first, and they prescribed something called Clomid. And they gave that to me, and it was a very, very painful thing that I took. And that was a very, rough way of getting into the whole, fertility journey. It's like they give you these pills, and then it just makes your whole stomach feel like it's just turning inside, like you feel like a stomach ache all the time. I didn't like the experience of taking that.
Yeah, the discomfort.
Yeah, I said, wow, how did I get myself into? How did I let this happen to me? That I'm here and I'm trying to do this. And so I tried it. I got a call coming in, but I'll
Oh, it's
just,
okay. It's happened to me before.
okay. Yeah, I could have turned off my notifications or something. But anyway, so then that didn't work. I tried that. I think I upped my dosage, and that didn't work. And then so I I tried, well, the next step was to do something more invasive. So I think I just, I just stopped with the Western stuff.
Yes.
And then I I think I had tried some natural things at that point. People always go to the doctor first, and you want to try some natural things after that. And I started. My friend recommended that I drink senna leaf, the senna leaf and juice and tea. That's like a tea.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. And then that didn't work. Then I tried doing something else, like drinking this bark with wine, like kosher wine, the great kosher wine. Not nothing strong, but I tried doing that, and that didn't work either. So then I said, okay, let me go back to the Western stuff. So then I was looking for, like, I guess, like a free consultation. I said, well, let me see, it's free. I don't have anything to lose. Let me try to go and get a free consultation for, IVF or fertility. Let me see what they say. So
Mm-hmm.
I went to this place and I did the consultation, and he said, well, at that point I was around 39. I think I was like 39.
Still young.
Well, Jordan's young, like, all are coming back, hopeful, all your levels and everything, but I think you will need to do IVF. And I said, IVF? What? I can't afford that. So, so I left there kind of discouraged, sad, because I know I don't have any money for that.
Yeah.
So then I started looking into doing some clinical trials. I said, maybe there's some clinical trials and I could look into doing one of those. And then I was looking, and then what was very discouraging, what was sad, which, a lot of people don't know till they actually start researching this stuff, is that they didn't have a lot of clinical trials for people my age. It was
Oh.
people
Mm-hmm.
35 and younger. Because after 35, they really feel like, you're wasting their time, I guess. You're wasting their time because, everything is like slowing down after 35.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't find much of anything there. So I don't know, somehow I was researching online and I came across this place in Irvine, California, not too far from where I live. They're giving natural IVF cycle every month. They give one away. So I said, wow, that might work. So I said, let me go down there, take my chances. And I went down there. It's a very funny story, a long story, but the story goes that I barely got there. It was just like a big mix up. And I got there, I went there on the train, and I got off the train. I thought I was going to catch the bus. And then I got Ubered there.
Oh,
And I was
wow.
like the
That's a
last person to
journey.
walk into. Yeah, yeah, I was the last one to walk into the presentation that they had that Saturday. And there was a bunch of couples. I don't know, maybe these people came from all over the world. I don't know how far. And they did this raffle. They explained the whole fertility, thing when I got there. And then afterwards, they did a raffle. They had a Black African-American woman, and she was a former winner of their natural cycle. And she did this raffle, and she just spun this wheel. She took out a ticket, and she dropped and looked to them. She said, what do we do now? I said, well, just spin again. So she spun it, she put it back, and then she turned the wheel again. And then the second ticket that she pulled was my ticket.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I didn't know. I didn't feel like, oh, I was so excited. I just felt so numb because I felt like I was going to win. I had just tried so hard to be there that day. And so I just felt completely numb that I know I was going to win. And so they said, okay, well, this treatment is worth $6,000, and you will just have to meet with our advisor, financial advisor. I met with him, and he said, well, you'll still need to come up with a little bit more, maybe like another $1,000. So I said, oh, that's not bad. I mean, you're fronting 6,000, so I could come up with 1,000. So I just went, to a local credit union place. I got a loan, and then I began treatment. And I started the treatment, a lot of poking and prodding. The pain, that thing came back to me with all the pain and all that. So I said, okay, I'll go through this. It's just worth it. It's worth it. So I'll go through it. I mean, even up to when they did the transfer where they took my eggs out and then they put it with my husband's sperm. Even that was very painful, them retrieving eggs. And then so we waited for 2 weeks to find out or not. Do these very painful shots. Anybody, I don't know if you know, but there's this thing, these oil injection shots where they basically inject. You have to do this every day, and it's like injecting into your rear end this shot every night.
Mm-hmm.
And I couldn't do it, so I had a friend. She was a retired nurse, and she was nice enough to do it for me. And I said, I felt so like rock bottom. Like, although I had won the treatment, I was happy and everything, but just to be going through all of this, pain, I said, there's got to be a better way. So I got the results. They called me. They said, well, Mrs. Jordan, we have bad news. Sorry to say that it didn't work. It wasn't successful. I said, what? I was beyond devastated.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, what do I do now? But they, someone had told me, they said, well, the first time usually doesn't work. Sometimes you have to try this thing about 2-3 times before it works. But I just felt like I had gone that far. It was going to work for me. So after that, I just said, okay, well, let me just go back to the drawing board and let me just do some more research. So I was researching. Well, when I did the consult, the post-consult, the doctor told me also, I wanted to share this. He said, well, Mrs. Jordan, you really should have had your eggs tested because at this point I was 41. So he said, you should have had your eggs tested. But I'm like, that would have been another $5,000-$6,000.
Right.
And I wasn't going to invest in that.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, went back and do my research, and I researched that a lot of people that do, IVF, they do acupuncture, and that makes their, results more successful. So I started doing acupuncture. I found a very reasonable place in my city that does it. It wasn't fertility acupuncture per se, but I told the acupuncturist that that's what I was coming in there for. So he did try to work with me. He put the needles, in my abdomen area, and he was a very, very good acupuncturist. I mean, I literally did not feel anything when he put the needles in. And
I've never done it before.
It was just very relaxing. It's very relaxing. It's good for pain relief. It's good for conception, fertility. It's good for a lot of things. So I did that for about 4 months, and then 4 months into it, I didn't see nothing happen. And I said to the acupuncturist, do you think I'm wasting my I said, what? I said, he just gave up on me, basically. I said, no, I'm not gonna give up. I'm not gonna give up. That's what I've been all this time. I keep saying to myself, I'm not gonna give up. So I continued going for another 2 months, but this time I tried taking some of the Chinese herbs, that they have when you walk in.
Yes.
I don't know if your listeners, they think this is hilarious, or they think, I don't know what they're thinking, but it's like, I just did not want to give up. And I wasn't going to give up.
I think it's respectable, like your story and just your perseverance, because when you have a passion, for something that's important to you, that in your heart, you have to exhaust all options. And so I think there's probably more people than that can relate to your story. And so I appreciate you being open about it so that others can understand that, you know, it's a process. It's not something that is easy to go through, but to understand the struggle you went through.
Mm-hmm.
And then you said
So
after you're trying to do acupuncture,
so
it didn't
then
work out.
okay, so then we're like, yeah, I did. Well, this is what happened. I was doing it for the 4 months, and then I start taking the Chinese pills that they have, and then I got well, I was on YouTube one day. It was one day, I went to church, and after church, I was just, like I said, just on YouTube, and I just stumbled on this podcast, just like yours,
Mm-hmm.
uh, you know, says that she moved from America to Belize because she wanted to be an apprentice to one of the bush doctors, medicine man in Belize, one of the Mayan bush doctors down there. And so she was his apprentice, and then she learned a lot about herbs, and she saw a woman, you know, life get saved because of
Mm-hmm.
drinking some roses and rose water or something like that. And she said she was amazed how the, you know, or just, you know, these flowers or herbs or something like that. And so she was talking about the vast, which is ancient, practice, self-care practice. And she was saying that, like when women were like infertile in those days, the first thing that they would ask you is, have you done your vaginal steam? Have
Mm-hmm.
you done your bajo? That's the word for it. And then they would just do the vaginal steam, and it would help. It would help some of them.
Yes.
It would help some of them. So yeah, she explained how to do it on the podcast, and what it was basically cooked like kitchen herbs that you use, and you just basically make this herbal tea, and you sit over it, this hot tea, like half undressed.
Mm-hmm.
And I almost burned myself. I almost burned myself doing this. I just was doing it in my bathroom, you know,
Yeah.
on my toilet seat, and I almost burned myself because I have
Oh, no.
the hot the hot saucepan, yeah, under the seat. But yeah, I did it, and then the next month I conceived after 4 years of trying.
That's incredible. And it was just like shortly after, just you using the herbs that they gave you for the steaming. Hello, Natalie.
Yeah.
It there was a pause for a second there. And
Okay.
this person that
Did
helped
you?
you, Natalie, are they in which part of the California are they? In case
Well,
others
they live.
are
It was
listening.
okay. The lady that was on the podcast, you're saying?
Or no, the lady that, or who you went to for the herbs that's nearby you.
No, I actually did it myself.
Oh, so but you ordered the items to be able to do the actual technique.
No, I it was just like for fertility. On the podcast, the lady said it was basic kitchen herbs that you use.
Oh, she said, oh, okay. I didn't know that if you went to one, but so you basically went and did your research so that you were able to create the to bring the herbs together to do the steaming yourself.
Yeah, she explained
Okay.
everything on the podcast.
Oh wow,
Yeah,
that's real detailed.
yeah, it was very detailed. She
Mm-hmm.
said like you use like either a cup of the dry herbs, or like a half cup of like the fresh herbs. You
Mm-hmm.
know, she was very detail, and she explained how to do it.
I think it's amazing, because it took 4 years, and like you said, some people, they, it's not, it doesn't, their ability to become fertile doesn't occur right away, or maybe, it doesn't happen, but like in your situation, it did. And I think it's great that you can share your story. And we all know that everything we do in life, um, we're gonna all get different results. However, it's important for us to be able to share, our story, and give people the opportunity to understand, this is something I tried. This is what worked for me. I don't know if it's gonna work for you. Um, so because of your experience, that led you to your Instagram. And the way you go about your Instagram, you share a lot of stories. Can you share with our listeners what kind of stories you tend to share on your Instagram?
Well, basically, I have a thing called Miracle Monday, and I know Mondays are usually like the days people talk about, oh, they don't like going, back to the office and stuff like that. But I try to turn days into something that they can do, and just reading different people's stories of their struggles and their success, and anything from adoption to giving birth to a child.
Yeah, and I like it because the people that you share about, is not someone you would actually think they have that kind of story, but that you take the time to research and to highlight them, and give people hope, because some of the stories, it's real sad, like when you read it, but just how, in their own way, they were able to navigate themselves. And how old
Hmm.
is your youngest daughter now?
She's almost, let's say, 17 months. On the
Wow.
15th, 17 months. Yeah.
And so because of your experience, now you're learning more, and that you're offering coaching because you felt you understand the challenges that you went through, and your heart is to be a support to other women. Correct? It's something still new, and
Yes.
you're learning. What
Yes.
what is
Definitely.
what is one thing that you look forward to, as far as when you find a client, and that you guys can work and connecting? What is one thing that you look forward to, that someone who's listening, that can contact you and just know, this is what you desire for them?
Yes. I mean, what I would look forward to, I think all coaches would look forward to, is a successful ending, whether, like I said, if it's adoption or, um, having their own child, or there's other things. But I really feel like that's the pinnacle. Whatever way God chooses for you to bring life into your family, I'd be happy to hear, whatever story, whatever how your story ends. Or
And
maybe, I don't know, you might choose, you might not want to have children. I don't know.
yeah.
I just don't know. It's like some people, they think sometimes maybe they just don't want to have children at all.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they realize it's not them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah, and I think you walking alongside them and just helping, like support them in looking at the different options and seeing what works for them. Like, you have the patience to persevere alongside them, so that they won't feel all alone in this. journey. What is the
Yeah.
best way for people to find you on Instagram? Is that where the best place for you for people to follow you?
Yeah, I think that's a very good place because you could see, all that I post things almost daily, different inspirational posts. And so that's a very good place. You can find me at Fertility Coach Natalie. And,
Okay.
I'm there. If you want to message me, I can respond, fairly quickly also.
Okay. And then the website, I'll put it also on there for you. Is there anything else you
Hmm.
wanted to share before we say our farewells to the listeners?
Yeah. Yeah, I call my business blessedfertilitycoaching.com because I really feel like God wants to be, in the equation of you trying to, bring life into this world. So I really, try to encourage people to look to the Bible, look to the Word. There's so much inspiration in the Bible, inspirational verses, inspirational stories, and I to want them to realize that we've been given, a book it's called the Good Book, and it's for a reason. There's a lot of good information in there. So that's how I feel like makes me stand out from others.
That your faith in God has carried you to persevere. Um,
Yeah.
well, thank you so much for your time. And, guys, please reach out to Natalie. She's been through a special journey, but it allows her to have compassion and empathy, um, to share her faith and to allow you to see your options and to know that as a coach, she's not just telling you, oh, do this and that, but she's able to listen to your needs and to walk alongside you in this journey as a fertility coach. Well, guys, thank you so much for listening to Healing with Aloha podcast. If you're not if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. And until next time, you guys have a great day. Aloha, ahui ho.
Aloha.